Okay. So before proceeding, any questions do you guys have in the previous classes? For related to groups, users, policies, and account settings while setting up the password criteria about those?
No, sir. We are good to go.
So today we'll proceed on the roles part. We're gonna show how to create the roles and how roles will work, how we can grant a permissions to users and services as a roles. I will discuss today. Okay. So as we discussed in the last class, IAM roles are used to grant temporary credentials or the temporary permissions to the users or services. Remember, role can applicable for users and services without sharing the credentials. Example wise, if you think about an EC2 instance needs to read a S3 file bucket, instead of embedding credentials, assign a role with S3 read permissions to the instance. So what is the difference between IAM user and role? This is a very familiar question in the interview they'll ask about. So IAM users have permanent credentials where roles will provide a temporary credentials. That's the first difference. How do you attach a role to an EC2 instance? By launching or creating a server, we'll get an option to attach the role. Anyway, that we'll discuss in the next class. Let me show that how to create the role first. Let me get into the IAM. Left side we have a roles are there. We can click on roles. And here we'll have options to create the roles. So two types of roles I'm gonna show you guys how to create the roles. So here create role is there. If I click on create role, you guys can see here there's plenty of options. Select trusted entity is there, right? These are the options which we have. What are those options? First one, when you create a role, you can create two policies. One is a role trust policy that specifies who can assume the role, and a permission policy that specifies what can be done, who can access, what can be done with the role. You specify the trusted principal who is allowed to assume the role in the role trust policy. AWS service, this one if you think about, create a role that allows an AWS service to perform actions on your behalf. Nothing but one service to another service you want to link up, then we're gonna use AWS service is the role. Then account, AWS account, second one, create a role that allows principals in the AWS account, other AWS accounts to perform actions in this account. Nothing but account A, account B, two accounts are there, means in account A something must to access by account B, two different AWS accounts. Then we're gonna use AWS account. That's also we call it as cross account. The next one, web identity role. Create a role that allows users that are federated by a specified external web identity provider to assume a role to perform actions in your account. SAML 2.0 Federation. SAML nothing but Security Assertion Markup Language. Remember, SAML nothing but Security Assertion Markup Language 2.0 is the version. Federation. Create a role that allows users that are federated with SAML 2.0 to assume a role to perform the actions in your account. Then last one, custom trust policy. You can create a custom trust policy to fit your use case. Okay, this is the options we have. Out of this, we will gonna use first AWS service role. Will see. I'll gonna create one role using one service to another service. Okay, AWS service you can choose. Here you can select EC2, commonly user services EC2. Then next, here we need to grant the permissions. What permissions you want required, we can able to grant the permissions here. So for an example, here I'll give S3F, S3 full access I'll give. Click on next. Then role name it's asking, I'll give EC2 underscore S3 full access underscore role. Same name. I'll provide the description already there. Just come little bit down and we can able to create the role. Name can be anything. Okay, you just need to create the role. Now role is created. How to attach this role now? If you want to attach this role, we require a AWS server. Instance is required. Server is required. But we don't have a servers right now. We don't know how to create the servers also at this moment. In the next class, when you start other services, right, easy to, in that moment, I'm going to teach what is this role and how we can able to connect this role. If I connect this role, what benefits I'll get, I'll explain in the next class that. That is one set of the role. Next, one more role I'm gonna show, that is account. Okay, so here, allow entities and another accounts to belongs to a third party in this account. So what I'm doing means, I'll explain that the explanation part, what we're gonna trying to do it here. In existing, already some couple of users we have, like a John, like this last time we created some couple of users. We'll grant some permissions to those users. Okay, so we'll log into that user also. We'll try to access some permissions. For that particular user, what permissions are there, that will work by default. Remember, but via role also will give some permissions. Then whenever user in that user, you will get some sort of permissions. When user switch it to this role, then we will get some privileged permissions. That is the account, AWS account means you want to grant some temporary permissions to the user means we'll use role. So in this account, another account. Currently I'm granting this account only. If you are granting for another account means it's a cross account. Same account means same account. I mean this account means same account. Okay. These are the options. These are the problem statements you can think about that. So, but I'm not using those. I'm straight away I'm going to the next option. Okay, next. Here permissions I need to give. I'll give S3F. S3 full access I'll give. Role name S3F role is a name. Then create role. Role is created now. Let me search with the role. This is a role. In the meantime, what I'll do means I'll open the users. Let me see the any one of the user I'll pick up. Let me go for Bob user. What is the permissions? Amazon Institute read only access, S3 full access, custom trust policy is there. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll remove this user from the group. What permissions are there now? Amazon Institute read only access, Amazon custom policy, but S related stuff is not there. Remember. Now what I'll gonna do means I'll log in with the Bob user now. How to log in? I'll need to copy this URL. I'll go to different window. Let me enter this. Guys, please look at, I just logged into the IAM user. That's it, nothing else. Okay, let me search for some services. First, we'll search for IAM. What permissions we'll get, we'll see. Can you guys see? Some permission is there for IAM. I can see this related things. Okay, some permission is there for IAM. I'm verifying this. Similar way, I'll go to EC2. Let me verify it in EC2 what permissions are there. EC2 also some permissions are there. I can able to see some options here. Okay. Can you guys see? I'm trying to delete something, but is a problem. You're not authorized to perform this operation. That means I have only read access, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to delete something. Because of the permission issue, I could not able to do that. So EC2 read-only access is there. Let me go for S3. What permissions is there? We'll see. Can you guys see? You don't have permission to list these buckets. Am I correct? So IAM EC2 we have some permission, but S3 we don't have any permission. Correct. Please keep it in the mind. Now, very occasionally, very rarely, I'll access S3 temporarily, not permanently. Permanently means we can able to add the permission like IAM EC2, but I'm accessing very rare case. Such a moment I can able to grant the temporary permission. Okay, how to grant that? Via role. Where is the role? Somewhere role is there. This is the role, correct? Can you guys see this option? Link to switch console like this is there. We can copy this link and we can paste it here. We can copy this link and we can paste it here. Okay, so if I try to log in, let me see. This is a role name, it will come by default. This is a color code. Color code you can select green, I am selecting, switch the role. It's not happening. Why it's not happening? Any idea? Role I created. Okay. Then permission also I granted, but still I'm unable to log into the role. What could be the problem?
Administrator has to grant the permission, no?
Before the class, before last class, Friday class, if you guys recall, we said one word. We created one last permission. Can you guys recall that? What is the permission name? We don't have that permission. If I add that permission, it will work. But what is that permission? STS, Secure Token Service. Okay, let me add the permission. So Amazon S3 full access is there. Here add permissions, attach policies. I need to add STS permission. Look at last time we created this permission, correct? Last class, STS full access. Choose that, add permission. To whom to choose that? On the roles, current role what you created, right? For that role only you need to add this. Now I added. Then shall we verify? Let me go back. Let me verify it now. Still not happening. Let me refresh. Right now. Check for illustrator. Let me grant this permission to user also, Bob. Now it's happening. That means that permission is required for role also and user also. If both are there, then we can able to switch. How do you know that whether you are logged into the user or logged into the role? How do you verify that? Look at guys, this is user, but it will refresh. Once it's refreshed, both become same only. See, S3 access role, username. So now look at earlier I'm getting permission denied. Can you guys see this now? Getting up some buckets. Am I correct? Earlier we're getting errors, but now we are not getting the error. Okay, so that means things are working fine. Yeah, but only S3 will work. Other things it won't work. Let me go for EC2. EC2 won't work. See, but earlier EC2 was working. When I switch to role, it's not working. Let me search for IAM. IAM also not working. Now I am in the role. Look at, I am in the role now, currently active as a role. I want to go back to user. Then here, sign in as a Bob, account ID, switch back if I click on. Look at guys, switch back if I click on, I'll go to user. Now see, Bob at the rate of Besantech 6 p.m. is there. Now I am in the IAM, it's working. EC2 also will work. S3 won't work. See, it's working. Let me go to S3. See, it's not working. Now I need to go to role. Simple, here only. Can you guys see role history? Role history is reflecting. If I click on this, this will go to role. See, earlier S3 is getting up the errors. Now it's not getting. That is called as a roles. That is called as a roles. Any questions?
So you mean to say, sir, roles are assigned to service, like S3 bucket is a service.
Correct.
Okay, okay.
Understood, guys. If any other questions, please let me know. Means roles we can grant to users, but temporarily, not permanently. You cannot log in directly to the role without user. First we need to log into the user, then only we need to log into the role. Role and user we can able to switch over. How to switch? Here only their option. See, now I'm in the role. If I click on this, switch back is there, right? If I click on switch back, it will go to user. See, now I'm the user. It's not getting permissions denied.
A role is a kind of temporary thing, you can say.
Temporary, because role always we mentioned, right? It's a temporary.
Correct.
Role is temporary credentials, user is permanent credentials.
Got it, got it. Correct, sir. Got it, got it.
That's about the role part. Like this, account A want to switch the roles to account B. Or assuming the role. STS assume role we added, right? STS permission. Using that only we are accessing the things. And groups we discussed last class. These are the groups. Delegating the permissions we know. Policy also we know. Then account settings also we discussed it. Next one is the credentials report. A credential report provides detailed list of all users and their security status. Steps to generate a credential report will be, credentials report means at this present, what are the users are there in your account? You want to see them. At the present moment, what are the users are there in your account? You want to see them. For that, we create a credential report and download the report. Example, the report shows which users have MF enabled, password age, when the password reset, and whether the access keys are active or inactive. This will show. So for example, how often should you review the credentials report? Regularly as part of the security audits. Nothing but when you can generate the report means whenever you require, you can generate it. What information does the credential report provides? One is user credentials, MFA status, access key. Like this, some of the activity what you're gonna do, whatever did already, those information will be reflecting as part of the credential activity. Okay. Let me first generate the report and I'll show the report. Okay. Where is the option? Can you guys see this here in the second of access reports are there, right? Here credentials report is there. So here I can generate the report. Download credentials report. Report generated. Okay. If I click on the report name, you're able to see what are the users I have, those users, and along with the status is reflecting. Even I'll share this report with you guys also. This is the report. This report having the details. Okay, that's about the credentials report. Next, identity providers. This we need to do one project. I mean nothing but identity providers meaning without using AWS username and password. Without using AWS username password, you want to log into the AWS account. Without creating IAM users, you want to log into the AWS account. So for that, we're gonna use the concept called identity providers. Okay, we can do one project over here, but for that requires some license and something. I'll try to do that if possible. I'll explain the next class. I mean, at the end of the course, we're gonna do the project. At that moment, I'll explain this. Then account setting, last class we discussed about how to set the password policy here. Like this, we can set the password policy. Then root access management, nothing but root user access management. I'm not the root user of this particular account. That's the reason I'm not getting this option, but you guys will get an option. Root access management, something is there, right? You will get the option. Then what is this access analyzer? Access analyzer is a specialized feature in the AWS IAM. What it will going to do means this will going to work like this in this manner. You can see, create an analyzer, review the findings, take an action. You can create an analyzer to monitor the external and unused access for organization or an individual account. And unused nothing but you have 100 users. But out of 100 users, only 80 users are accessing every day, logging and every day doing their work. But remaining 20 people are there, right? They have an account, but they even single time, one time also they didn't log in last 1 month. Such accounts, it'll just check and it'll going to report us. Nothing but this user account is there, but there are no real user, and nobody is logged in. That's a
You
report.
mean to say, sir, idle user.
Idle users. Users are created, but the user is not logged in. Maybe that guy is there in the company, or maybe left the company, or maybe he went to maternity leave, or maybe he went to vacation. Not sure. You have to review them, right? Like instead of keeping their accounts, we can review and we can delete them. If they want, they'll come back later. Then we'll create it. For those kind of analysis purpose, we're gonna use the option called this one, analyzer, access analyzer. Okay, what is the benefits you will get when you use this one? Continuous monitoring. Then we have central dashboard, all the summary we can see. Scale with automation. Automation we can do. Then security hub integration. Integration also we can able to make. These are the major features we'll get when you use this option. Then what are the use cases? External access findings and unusual access findings. Unusual access means you have the permissions, but you didn't use those permissions. Those are unusual, we'll call it as. Okay, like this we can able to use these features to work on. Those are here only there. You can see external access, unused access, analyze the settings. Like this we have the options. Right now didn't analyze anything because we need to create that, but it's not free. We need to pay the amount for that. Then we have a organization account will be there. Organization account means company account. Company account. So ours is personal account, right? But company account is a business account. If you use business account, these options will work. Same thing, service control policies also, it won't work for us. See, your account is not a member of an organization. Means the company account is required for that. Resource control policies. This is a very new option. Even this is also required a root account. I mean, admin account. Athava company account is required for this. Okay. So these are the major things which are comes under in the IAM. Hope I am covered up everything. Okay. Let me give some real world scenario how it works. So first thing, think of IAM as a security team in a large office building. Security team, you guys have heard, they used to check all the access levels. Users are employees with the unique IDs. Nothing but security team, nothing but auditing team, something we'll call it as. Users are the employees with the unique IDs. Groups, nothing but team like HR team, IT team, shared access to a specific forms, rooms. Roles, temporary passes for contractors. Contractors, nothing but visitors will be there at sometimes. Visitors, they'll give some temporary ID card for temporary purpose. Roles is like a temporary only. MFA, double lock system for high security areas. Policies, rules detecting who can access which areas. Credential report, a daily audit report of employee activity. This is the real world scenario. If at all you want to create a user, creation of user accounts in AWS, practical hands-on and real-world scenario based on exercises for IAM topics. If you think, what you guys has to do means, look at, I given the steps here. I mean, what you guys has to do, I given here. Create 3 users. You has to create 3 users: developer 1, developer 2, and admin. Like this, 3 users you need to create. Provide the developer 1 and developer 2 users as a programmatic access key only for CLI and SDK access only. Provide admin user full access to AWS Management Console access. Test the permissions for each user by logging to and performing the actions. Remember guys, you need to create 3 users, developer and developer 2 and admin user. Developer 1 and developer 2 you need to give programmatic access, CLI access only, not the console access. Admin user only you need to give console access. Okay, and you need to test the permissions. You are tasked with creating accounts for a team working on a new project. Developer need access only to S3 and Lambda, but admin need full access to all the resources. Like this, you need to grant the permission. You need to work on this particular tasks. Okay, this is the first one. Second task will be setting up the MFA. You need to set up a MFA for your user. Enable MFA for the root account. Create a user manager 1 with AWS console access. Set up a virtual MFA device for manager 1 user using a mobile app like Google Authenticator. Test logging in the manager 1 providing the MFA code. Nothing but when manager 1 is a user when trying to log in, it asks for username and password. He has to enter and he has to log in with the code. Okay, that's one. Look at, a company's security policy requires all the users with admin access to have a MFA enabled. Implement MFA for an admin user and verify its functionality. Nothing but admin is a root user, right? You need to enable the functionality and you need to test. Roles for IAM. Next one. Create a IAM role called S3 read-only role with permissions to access only example bucket. Attach the role to EC2 instance. Use a EC2 instance to list out the objects in the S3 bucket using the AWS IAM. But this we cannot do at this moment because we don't know how to create the EC2 instance and S3 bucket also. But I'll teach later. That would be groups. Then how to create the groups. Developer group is first one and support group is the second one. 2 groups you need to create. Developer group you need to grant the permission called EC2 and S3. And support group you need to grant the permission of CloudWatch logs. Like this, 2 permissions you need to grant. Add users developer 1 to the developer group and support 1 to the support group. Verify the permissions of each user. That's the fourth task. Delegations of permissions for a user. Create a user with a tester 1 with no permissions. Write a custom policy allowing tester 1 to list all the instances but not stop and start. Nothing but read only permission to grant. Attach a policy to the user and verify the behavior by logging in the tester 1 user. How to create a custom policies. So write a custom policy allowing the user to read objects from my example bucket, denying deleting objects from the S3 bucket. Nothing but if you guys are aware about, while creating a policy, I even allow ALLOW. You just what need to do? You need to put deny. That's it. Attach this policy to a user analyst 1. Test the permissions by attempting to delete the files from the example bucket. Last one, account settings. How to set the account settings? You can see minimum 12 characters you need to give, 1 uppercase letter, lowercase letter, capacity expression 90 days is required. Okay, like this you need to grant. Some more analysis will be there. You guys can go through that here. Some more interview questions also here in the practical contest. You can able to go through them. How to create also we given the steps here. You guys can proceed and you can able to make use this one and how we can able to set up this. You can make use this and you can able to create that. This is about the IAM. IAM is very simple. Majorly you will get an opportunity to work with users, roles, policies, groups. This 4 only, nothing else. Okay, kindly go through this particular the PPT I'll share anyway. I'll download and share with you guys, or else you guys can ping me your Gmail ID. I'll gonna map that Gmail ID to this particular one. Okay, so that you guys will get the notes directly, and you guys has to do the practice. What are the questionnaires I mentioned, right? In answer you need to do this because in the live class I shown that how to do that, correct? But you guys has to do the practice. Okay, any questions now?
Sir, whatever the practicals you are showing right now, it is whatever the practicals is shown right now. It's industry standard, whatever they are following in
Exactly.
big organizations.
Right? In the company, what we are following, right? Same only I mentioned there.
Okay.
Once you complete this, all the hands-on things, once you complete this entire PPT, right? You will be perfect in the IAM. Any question if they ask about in the interview, you could able to answer this.
So whatever the scenarios you just shown, if we
Correct.
do that one, is it enough, sir?
It's that could be enough. Other than nothing else you'll get.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Even I'll also share the things frequently asked questions, interview questions which are related to IAM. I'll share separately. Same way for EC2, S3 also I'll share separately only, so that once you complete each topic, right? If you prepare well on that, at least if suppose any openings are getting up for that, right? You can attend that easily.
Correct. Correct.
No
Correct.
need to
Correct.
wait for
And how
interview.
about this PDF, sir? We will have to share our email ID for you so that
We'll
you can
share.
attach that one to email ID.
There's a Google Drive. I kept in a Google Drive. You guys
Yeah.
can ping your email ID in the WhatsApp group. I'll just map your ID with the Google Drive, so that you guys can read out the data. Because that's not a complete PPT. I prepared the PPT. Easy to other services in upcoming services also. I need to add in the same notes only.
Got it. Got it, sir. Got it.
So
But
that,
we can't able to download, no?
right now I won't allow you to download, because you can just read out that. Once I added all the data, right, entire theory if I complete, then allow you to download. Right now I'll give read only access.
Okay, sir. Got it. Got it, sir. Got it.
Cool. Others, any questions, guys? If no questions, then we'll wind up today here. In tomorrow class, we'll discuss about further service. So I'm planning to take another service called S3. So next class we'll discuss about S3. Okay, cool. That then we'll wind up today here. So still many people didn't subscribe our channel, so kindly subscribe our channel, so that you can, if you missed out any of the videos, means you could able to refer it from there. Okay, cool. That thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Have a nice evening, sir. Thank you. Bye. Good night.